Hello everyone, I hope you all are doing well, and today I am back again with another interesting video lecture that is based on masters. Yes, इस लेक्चर में हम MA इंग्लिश जो चेंज्ड रिवाइज्ड सिलेबस है अंडर पंजाब यूनिवर्सिटी उसके कुछ टॉपिक्स के साथ डील करने वाले हैं एंड हियर आई विल ट्राई टू अपलोड वीडियोस on paper 1 that is compulsory, and the title of the paper is literary movements. But before we get into the paper, before we start studying the paper, it becomes very necessary for us to know what basically literature is. Generally, when I ask students what is literature, they have a very vague idea. So let's first of all understand what is literature and what is a literary movement. So let's begin with the video lecture. So this is the title of today's video lecture, that is Introduction to Literature and Literary Movement. What is literature? First of all, this is the question, what is literature? So generally, सबसे simplified चीज़ है literature, drama है, literature poetry है, literature novel है and prose है. लेकिन what exactly all these genres are? तो इसकी जो latest pronunciation है that is genre, but I will definitely stick to genre because I love saying it that way, and my teachers, when I was studying it, they used to confirm everything before telling us the pronunciation from the embassies of the so-called related nationalities where that word used to get picked up from. So literature has four major genres, that is drama. It is also called a play. Drama is also called a play or plays. So it is meant for stage performances. तो drama क्या है जो stage पे दिखाया जाता है. Second option, second branch of literature is poetry. लेकिन यहाँ मैं definition नहीं दे रही हूँ, I'm just simplifying it. So poetry को हम verse भी बोलते हैं. It is metrical composition that expresses heightened emotions. जो बात आप नॉर्मल लेवल पे नहीं कर सकते वो हम पोइट्री में करते हैं. जनरली आपने देखा होगा जितने भी धार्मिक होली बुक्स हैं दे ऑल आर नॉट रिटन इन प्रोज लैंग्वेज, वो ऑर्डिनरी लैंग्वेज में नहीं है बिकॉज दे टेल अस ऑफ द हाइएस्ट ट्रूथ्स ऑफ अ लाइफ. सो दैट इज द रीजन वाई दे आर रिटन इन पोइटिक लैंग्वेज. The novel का मतलब novel या fiction होता है. It is meant for reading, unlike the drama. Drama is meant for stage performances and novel is meant for reading. It uses ordinary language, but it can be poetic too. जैसे drama आपका जो ड्रामाज हैं वो रीडिंग के लिए भी हो सकते हैं. वो एक टाइम ऐसा था लिटरेचर में जब ड्रामाज थिएटर्स में परफॉर्म नहीं होते थे. दे वर ओनली मेंट फॉर रीडिंग. जब थिएटर्स क्लोज थे तो उस टाइम पे जो ड्रामा लिखा जाता था that was called closet drama. Similarly, a novel can be poetic. And the last is prose. This is non-metrical composition. इसके अंदर criticism, creative writing, articles, pamphlets, etc. सब कुछ आता है. Credit to the creator. I have added this for your kind perusal. So this is again literature. It has been divided into poetry, drama, fiction, non-fiction. Non-fiction is the prose, of course, and then criticism. So this is the simplified version as far as your literature is concerned. So poetry can be objective, can be subjective. So objective one is further divided into narrative and dramatic. We have ballad, epic, and metrical romance under this. As far as your subjective part is concerned, the style of writing which romantic poets हैं हमारे they popularized was subjective poetry, lyric writing जहाँ पे elegy, sonnet, ode, dramatic monologue, hymns and epithalamion, ये सारी चीजें, ये सारी genres या ये सारी types of poetry आती हैं. Drama can be you can say broadly divided into comedy and tragedy. Comedy is a play which has a happy ending, and tragedy is a play that has a sad ending, or in दोनों का amalgamation mixture is called tragic comedy. Fiction can be romance, it can be short story, it can be novel, और novel के आगे types जो हैं picaresque novel, epistolary novel, then you have regional novel, gothic novel, and so many other types. Novel of ideas too, which you must have read in your respective course books. Then in non-fiction we have essays. This is the prose part. the entire prose part. We have essays, pamphlets, autobiographies, biographies, and travelogues. Memoirs too are a part of it. So this is not the end. This is not exactly the entire view of literature, but a glimpse that will give you a broader idea about what literature is all about. So in criticism, we have post-colonial, feminist criticism, Marxist, psychoanalytical, archetypal. Then we have moralistic, phenomenological, structuralism. We have reader response criticism. There are certain theories which come under criticism even. So literary criticism and literary theory, they come under this part, which is like herein we evaluate stuff. Criticism doesn't mean that we have to criticize. हमें उसकी गलतियां निकालनी है या थोड़े faults को find out करना है. Criticism means to evaluate, just to say good and bads of something. So we are on the question. Now, what is literature? हमने सब पढ़ लिया, but what is literature? So anything that is available in black and white, which means written form, and if that material has stood the test of time, that is called literature. These days, literature is growing and flourishing in all the aspects, be it oral, written, and through presentation. So literature is, even I am presenting before you, a part of literature. So in short, literature is an expression in terms of words. Definitely, I'm taking the help of words to convey you the idea what is literature. So what are the different genres or genre literature is divided into? So again, I have discussed this: poetry, drama, novel or fiction, and prose or non-metrical compositions or non-fiction. So this is what we have read earlier. I guess there is no need to repeat all these things. The only difference between these is drama में you need audience. Poetry में meter or rhythm होता है, and rhythm can be in prose as well. एक previous मैंने video upload किया था on literary terms. तो if you are using alliteration, वो poetry में भी है, that can be part of your prose as well. अगर आप language को, education को, you call education as empowering, you call it enlightening and empowering and enriching. So this is alliteration. So rhythm and this alliteration can be part of prose as well. So let's move further. So what is the basic idea behind literature? हम literature क्यों create करते हैं? Reason क्या होता है पीछे? So चाहे आप motive कह लीजिए, चाहे आप objective कह लीजिए literature का, it is either to instruct or to delight. या आपको entertain करना है या आपको teach करनी है कोई चीज़. तो morals teach करनी है तो instruction आ जाएगी, और अगर सिर्फ entertainment है जैसे romantic writing में होता है, so that is just for delight. So basically चाहे आप poetry का function कह लीजिए, main idea, objective और motive behind literature कह लीजिए, that is to instruct and to delight. So what is a movement? Because I am going to basically deal with the paper 1 of MA English first year under Punjab University. So the title of the paper is Literary Movements. So first of all, what is a movement? In simple words. So a movement is, it's a mass following of some trend is called a movement in simple words. जब बहुत ज़्यादा लोग एक मुद्दे को, एक trend को follow करते हैं, that is a movement. For example, anti-corruption movement, anti-dowry movement, save environment movement, save earth, going green, or justice for so and so. So all these are movements. When people in large number, they get into that movement, they get into that event and make it a mass movement. So जब लोगों का सैलाब आता है, सारे लोग वो फॉलो करना शुरू कर देते हैं, that becomes a movement. So what is the origin of a literary work or a movement? तो movement तो हमने बोल दिया कि it is the mass following, but from where it gets started, from where it actually starts, it starts with a very basic thing, that is an idea, a thought, or an emotion. So everything starts with an idea. This idea can be a thought, it can be an emotion. So when one idea is shared by a group, it becomes a school of thought. I guess this is something very basic you all need to understand in case you want to master this paper. If I think of making a book bank, that's just my idea. I have a very good intention behind it. मैं किसी को help करना चाहती हूँ, मैंने एक book bank बना लिया. If I share that idea with my friends, तो अगर वो भी उस book bank का part बन जाए, that would be a school. That's the simplest option, don't quote it anywhere in order just to make it clear to you. So that becomes a school of thought, and if that particular idea is shared by a large number of groups, like I'm exaggerating now that matter, from one colony to the other, from one locality to the other, from one city to the other, from one state to the other, if it gets spread like a movement that people from all of India, they start making book banks to help the needy ones, so that will become a movement. So when this group's ideology, way of thinking is shared in a large and vast manner within and without a country, that mass following takes the shape of a movement. I hope it is clear. And if such a thing happens in literature, that becomes literary movement. So defining a literary movement, what is a literary movement? So literary movements are a way to divide literature into categories of similar philosophical, topical or aesthetic features as opposed to divisions by genre or period. तो अगर आप genre या period की division ना करके आप एक trend को follow करते हो, that writers are writing subjectively, वो rules regulations को follow नहीं कर रहे, वो अपने दिल की बात कर रहे हैं, तो that's one trend that is being followed by many writers of different countries. That will become a literary movement. So like other categorizations, literary movements provide language for comparing and discussing literary works. तो literary works को discuss करना literary movements के अंदर बहुत easy हो जाता है, और जो भी आपको units इस paper में पढ़नी है, I'm going to tell you an overview of all the units. So I don't bore you with this matter, kindly just go through it on your own. So what are the major literary movements to be studied? अब हमने इस paper में कौन-कौन सी literary movements पढ़नी है? So first of all, we have classicism. Now what is classicism? That is something of highest order. Classicism, both as an art style and as first theory of art, was defined by the ancient Greeks. So कोई भी literary आपको अगर example चाहिए या origin चाहिए, we have first example of Greeks. सबसे पहला literature Greeks ने produce किया है, then it was followed by Greeks were followed by the Romans, and then it spread across all the countries in the years to come. So they were emulated by the Romans and then continued to appear in various forms across the centuries. So historically, the periods most associated with classicism, they are the 4th and the 5th century BC, before Christ, Greece. सबसे पहले literature का अगर आपको कोई existence मिल रही है, that is in Greece, followed by the Roman writers in 1st AD with Cicero and Virgil. Then in classicism, a glimpse of classicism, or you can say traces of classicism, can be found in French drama in 17th century. So एक trend ये नहीं है कि that is मोहताज of a particular period, कि सिर्फ BC में ही होना है, before Christ वाली centuries में ही होगा या AD में होगा. See, there is we have an example कि France में classicism, when it showed its presence, when it made its presence felt, it was in 17th century. So this is going to be your first unit, classicism. So in simple words, what classicism is, again I'm going to tell you. So classicism affirms the superiority of balance and rationality. तो यहाँ पे balance है, यहाँ पे rationality है, over impulse and emotion. तो impulses को, emotions को backseat पे रखा गया है. It aspires to formal precision, affirms order, and eschews ambiguity, flights of imagination, or lack of resolution. तो classicism में क्या है? There is importance of wholeness and unity, और यहाँ पे emotions को ध्यान में नहीं रखा गया, emotions को ज़्यादा तवज्जो नहीं दी गई. किस पे है basic focus, किस पे है balance और rationality पे, logically reasoning पे, कि ये ऐसे होना है, ऐसे ही. If I want to fly like a cloud, no. They won't write about this. Like Wordsworth, they would write about something really important, philosophical, जो superiority में भी अच्छा हो topic, balance और उसमें rationality भी हो. They will talk of bravery, they will talk of wars, they will talk of gods, they will not talk of imagination. So both ancient Greeks and ancient Roman writers stressed restraint and restricted scope, reason reflected in theme and structure, and unity in purpose and design. तो ऐसा नहीं है कि कहीं से भी कुछ भी शुरू होगा. There would be proper structure, there would be proper purpose, design, and some reason will be reflected in the structure and theme of the write-ups or literary works. The next one we have is Renaissance. Now, what is Renaissance? It is simply awakening and revival of learning. So, classicism ke baad there was a decline. There was, you can say, barren age, no productivity, nothing was produced in the field of literature. And then Renaissance, it means, it's a French word, Renaissance, it's a French word, which means rebirth. So this was the rebirth in European civilization in the Middle Ages. And then there was great interest in the classical scholarship. दोबारा से classical writers को पढ़ना शुरू किया गया. So Renaissance में बहुत सारी और important चीज़ें हुई हैं. यहाँ पे discoveries हुई हैं, explorations हुई हैं, astronomy में feudalism का decline हो गया, commerce आ गया लोगों ने, जैसे we were found out, India was found out by Vasco da Gama, उधर से कोलंबस ने अमेरिका को ढूंढ लिया. ऐसी सारी इन्वेंशंस जो हैं, डिस्कवरीज हुई हैं. इन्वेंशन किस चीज़ की हुई है? प्रिंटिंग की हुई है, पेपर की हुई है. और जैसे ही प्रिंटिंग प्रेस आ गई या मैरिनर्स कैंपस या गन पाउडर आ गया, इट गेव अ न्यू फेस टू लिटरेचर. पहले मैन्यूस्क्रिप्ट्स होती थी, हैंड रिटन डॉक्यूमेंट्स होते थे, जो एक आध है बच गया, अदरवाइज कोई अर्थक्वेक, नेचुरल कैलामिटी आ गई तो खत्म हो गया. अभी क्या हुआ? प्रिंटिंग से नंबर ऑफ कॉपीज कुड बी प्रोड्यूस्ड एंड दिस गेव अ गुड पुश टू द लिटरेचर, पुश टू द राइटिंग्स. लोगों ने लिखना भी शुरू किया और लोगों ने पढ़ना भी शुरू किया. It was then followed by, then again, after Renaissance, that was the peak time for British drama as well. तो उसके बाद again with certain orders, theatres were closed. And then there was downfall. Literature dramas were not produced for stage performances. They were meant only for reading. उसके बाद दोबारा से थोड़े से decline के बाद we had neoclassicism. So the way its name, its title conveys. So neo means new plus classical. So this is of highest order. Otherwise neoclassicism means, in Greek, neos means new, and Classicos, it means of highest rank. It was a Western cultural movement in decorative and visual arts. अब इसमें क्या था? Again, classical models were taken up and they were slavishly imitated. उनको बहुत बुरी तरह से imitate किया गया. Renaissance में कहीं ना कहीं एक creativity, एक individual addition थी जो neoclassicism में आपको बहुत कम मिलेगी. So they wanted to stick to the ancient rules, but कहीं ना कहीं इन्होंने by hook by crook वो चीज़ें करने को चाहिए. But it doesn't mean that they did not produce good literature. Definitely we have remarkable examples of the same, but they modeled everything on classicism. For example, Alexander Pope, this P should be capital. Alexander Pope's Rape of the Lock, it's a mock epic in contrast to the great English epic written by John Milton, and the name of the epic is Paradise Lost. तो Paradise Lost का ही structure, वैसा ही सा framework लेके Alexander Pope has created Rape of the Lock in Neoclassical age. The next one we have, it's Romanticism. Now, what is Romanticism? Definitely, बच्चे first go में इसको कैसे लेते हैं? That it has something to do with the love affairs. So tell me frankly, let me tell you frankly, definitely it will deal with, but it is not straight away linked only to the love affairs. It deals with imagination. So Romanticism, it's an attitude, intellectual orientation that characterized many works of literature like painting, music, architecture, criticism, historiography in Western civilization over a period from the late 18th to the mid 19th century. और अगर simple भाषा में आपने देखना है Though we call lyrical ballads, preface to lyrical ballads, as a manifesto to romantic age, we have an example in 1730. William Thomson, he wrote 4 seasons. Yes, Thomson wrote 4 seasons. That's the name of the poem. And that is supposed to be the precursor of Romanticism in 1730. Though officially it began in 1798 with the lyrical ballads and in 1800 with the preface to lyrical ballads. So Romanticism can be seen as a rejection of the precepts of order, calm, harmony, balance, idealization and rationality. तो जो भी typical features हैं classicism के या neoclassicism के, उन सब के against एक reaction था रोमांटिसिज्म, जो बिल्कुल एंटी था रैशनलिज्म के, एनलाइटनमेंट के एंड फिजिकल मटेरियलिज्म के. एंड दे गेव गुड एम्फेसिस टू द हार्ट इंस्टेड ऑफ द माइंड. दे गेव actually importance to the emotions. So what is romanticism in simple words? Romanticism emphasized the individual. So now there was no longer emphasis on the society, the collectiveness. So here individual was important. They were not dealing with society. They were not dealing with the evils of society. Here individual was given importance. The way romantic poets, William Wordsworth, he writes like his heart dances with the daffodils, or he writes like he wants to fly like cloud. He loves to behold a rainbow in the sky like a kid. So they were writing on these lighter topics. So romanticism emphasized the subjective, not the objective one. The irrational instead of the rational, the way classicist and the neoclassicist did. The imaginative instead of the rational and logical. The personal instead of impersonal. The spontaneous. The emotional. The visionary and the transcendental. So these were the basic features of romanticism that you all need to keep in mind. I hope I did a little justice to the topic, and definitely I shall come again with other interesting topics of this paper, and we'll definitely shall try to upload video lectures on other papers too. So that is all for today, and I hope I would find you again in good health and in high spirits. So that is all for today. If you're watching this channel for the first time, do not forget to subscribe to the channel and stay tuned. Don't forget to press this bell icon so that you are notified whenever I upload any video in any of the playlist. And do watch if that playlist is of any help to you. So take care. Bye-bye. See you soon again.